Tantrums are synonymous with children at 2 years, but what many people do not actually know is that tantrums can start as early as 6 months of a baby's life. Now, to discuss tantrums and discipline issues with me in studio is Celine Opuch, a parent of a 2-year-old. She tells me that the boy has been throwing a bit of tantrums here and there, and she's going to be sharing that with us. Now, my name is Dorcas Mwangi, your host. Now, get talking to us as usual. Our Facebook page remains Malezi Show. Our Twitter handle remains @Malezi Show. Our SMS line is written on your screen right now. Get talking to us. We'll be waiting to hear from you so we can sample your views at this as the show goes on and also at the end of it. Now, our first question to you, Celine, would be, how has it been raising this baby from when he was a toddler up to now, until now he's actually throwing tantrums?
Okay, thank you very much, Dorcas. Basically, as you've said, more often we relate tantrums with about 2 years old. But it's true, sometimes it starts a bit earlier and much earlier. It's just that we need to, as parents, we need to learn how to identify.
Yes.
I would say the major tantrums with my son, I have a son, he's 2 years, 1 month. I started noticing tantrums at 1 year, 9 months.
Okay.
That's when he wants something, and he'd yell about it, and he'd want to grab it, and he'd want to throw things around. And I'd started disciplining him a bit earlier when I realized that he knew when he was doing wrong things and when he was doing right things. Yeah.
So when you talk about disciplining him, what did you do? Because it's a bit difficult to discipline a toddler. You don't even know whether they understand what they're doing in the first place.
That's true. Yeah, well, that's what we'd like to believe, that they are still an infant. Because, toddler starts basically at 2 years. That's when you say now they're toddlers.
Yes.
So you'd say, okay, they're still an infant. They probably don't know what they're doing. But you'd see, when a child, let's say, picks the remote and looks at you before he throws it, let's say, to the television, it means they know they're about to do something wrong. And that's when you nip it in the bud. Otherwise, if you don't start doing it then, it just escalates and gets worse by the time. So by the time they get to 2 years, they kind of start manipulating you. They know by this time that you hate it when they cry. You hate it when they give a show in public, like in the supermarket.
Yes.
So they'll go for that because they're trying to manipulate you. Now, the worst way, or to breed tantrum at its best, is instant gratification. They cry, you give them what they want. Then it just gets worse because they'll know this is all I need to do and I'll get exactly what I want.
Yes. So now, let's go back to that. What exactly did you do to discipline, to nip it in the bud, as you call it?
At about 8 months or so, I realized sometimes my son wanted to, because that's when he was starting to walk with things, just past scrolling, and now they're walking around with things, and he would want to touch the television. Because in most homes, people say, okay, put it up in the wall and they cannot reach things and all. But I did not do that. So he would want to walk around and touch things. So I started stopping him, simple, just say no, because they can actually understand. They're also learning to speak at this time, so they can get no when you shake your head and say no, and they can see that affirmative face that is not a smile, the smile that they get, they can see it on your face, like, no, this is not right, or yes, and there's a smile and there's a clap to it and all, and they know the difference. So I would stop him, and if he tried, let's say, to touch something, if he tried to touch the antiques in the house, I would say no, affirmatively.
Yes.
So I tried doing that as much as I could. If, let's say, he cried and all, I practiced the naughty corner thing. So I'd take him away and he'd sit there on his own, and I'd force him to stay there.
Have you ever spanked him?
I have, now that he's 2.5, a few times I could almost count. And I have 1 or 2 times there.
Any impact on that?
Yes, it does. It did have great impact, because first of all, it was a surprise, because he was so used to the naughty corner, and I think they outgrow it. So at some point he realizes. So actually, for me, I used to take him to my bedroom. So what he started doing is getting onto the bed and playing with the switch. So So it just became,
I got another pastime.
Yeah, I'll stay in here, but meanwhile I'll be playing with the switch
Yes.
on and off, and
So you actually,
it's just fine.
he was like sort of looking forward to the naughty corner.
Yeah, so I switched that to some empty space in the living room, and I just put him there, and I was, you have to stay there until you realize you've done something wrong. Then after that, I would tell them, you touch this, mommy doesn't like it, you don't do this, this is mommy's, this is daddy's, you don't touch this.
Yes.
And it's amazing. Most times we think they don't know, or they really do not understand, and it's a waste of time, but they really do understand. They do understand.
Okay.
Because sometimes later you'll realize with the remote control, they can pick it and bring it to you. That means they've known this is for mommy or it's for daddy. I should not play with it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now, in your view, what time does he decide to throw tantrums? Is it maybe when towards nap time, towards when he's hungry, or maybe towards whatever? What in your experience has it been?
Sometimes just anytime.
Anytime.
Really, anytime. It's not necessarily connected to anything. In fact, when they are grumpy before nap time, then I wouldn't really call that tantrums, because they're just grumpy because they need to nap. And children have that. Infants have that. You find them crying before they nap.
Yes.
We say, I don't know why they won't just close their eyes and sleep.
And sleep, actually. Everybody wonders that.
Yeah, and stuff like that. If they're hungry, they'll be crying because they want food. So I wouldn't really say that is tantrum.
Okay.
That's
different.
They want.
Okay.
Yeah. But tantrum is just when it's different, because at this time this child is not wet. They are full, like they have everything they want.
Yes.
And sometimes they're crying over something they shouldn't be having. Let's say like the remote control is not it's not a toy. And they have their toys, and they can distinguish, this is a toy, and this one I'm not allowed to touch. So this one that I'm not allowed to touch is the one I want on the phone.
Yes.
Yeah.
And apart from disciplining him and of course putting him in naughty corners and of course a bit of spanking, what other ways do you ensure that he does not throw a tantrum? For example, we are aware of the hyperactivity. So are there things maybe like not feeding him sugar at certain times or sugary stuff? Such measures? Do you take such measures?
Yeah, I think when a child suffers from hyperactivity, because that's now a condition that you'd probably have seen a pediatrician, and it's been diagnosed that they suffering from hyperactivity, then you'd also know the triggers. Of course, it's like sort of general knowledge that triggers for hyperactivity, even in adults mostly, it would be sugar rush and stuff like that. And some kids are just very active, so sometimes it's also good to engage them. If keeping them bored somewhere then just makes them go all, because they have so much energy. Sometimes take your child out, take them to a play group, as opposed to this setting that nowadays we choose to take of, we just leave just us in our house, and the baby doesn't go out to play and all, and then you expect them to sit indoors and not touch anything as well. There's so much energy in them that they will end up breaking things, jumping onto things and all that.
Yes.
So maybe take them out, take them for play groups, take them to the park or wherever. If you live in a neighborhood where there are lots of kids of that age, take them out to play. If it's sugary stuff, avoid giving them those. You can sometimes, some people say, okay, if I give them sugary stuff towards the evening, it will escalate, it will alleviate it and it will be worse. But with some children, it's just do not give them sugary stuff at all.
Yeah.
Minimize it completely.
Yes.
Because whether you give them in the morning, okay, maybe some people say, okay, don't give them, let's say after 4 o'clock, so that they go to bed early.
Yes.
But what if you give them earlier on and they are jumping everywhere and you cannot contain them in the afternoon? So sometimes it's also just throughout, just minimize it.
Now, we've seen very indisciplined teenagers or even children who are just just on their way to teenagehood. Do you see a relationship where maybe tantrums were not nipped in the bud and now they've outgrown? Because you see children behaving in a way that, and you can tell that this is a pure case of indiscipline. So do you think that if not checked, it can outgrow to that?
I think so, yes. I think some of these things, if they're not taken care of at a very young age, so you see them throughout.
Talk about that.
You see them throughout.
Yes.
Because if I have a child whom I bring them up without let's say spanking. I'm not saying that you must spank your child, but any form of disciplining, you know, children who are gratified instantly, they want this and they're given and they throw tantrums and it's condoned and all that.
Yes.
It just goes on as they grow up. It just changes to suit the various age and stage they are in life. So if they are teenagers, you see these kids, as every other child is undergoing adolescent and puberty and all these other issues that come with that. Theirs is a little bit in a different level, you know, and they're used to having things as they want them.
Yes.
So if they feel, listen, I hate this school and I need to be transferred, and the parents are not in a position to transfer, then let's ban the school and let's do bad things. Let's let's run away from school. Why? Because I do not want to be in this school. And you'll find such. You'll find when children answer, okay, why did you get involved in the strike? And they say, because I hate this school.
Yes. Now we'll continue with that discussion in a short while. We need to take a short break, but before we go, we want to remind you that we're waiting to hear from you. We'll be sampling most of your views after this break. Please talk to us on our Facebook page. It remains as Malezi Show. Our Twitter handle is at Malezi Show. Our SMS line is showing below your screen right now. We hope to hear from you shortly. We're taking a short break. We'll see you soon.